What's up, everybody? UberCrit here. I'm Connor. That's Andrew. And we just saw Atomic Blonde.
Yep, Atomic Blonde starring Sophia Boutella, Charlize Theron, James McAvoy, and John Goodman.
Okay, you got them all right here. Yes, it was... If you're looking for the short review, yes, see it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yes, like, wholeheartedly could say that majority of people would love it unless they're the kind of people who don't like violence and nudity. So,
yeah,
unless you're asking to be offended, then...
I mean, it's ticking the right boxes, though. Strong female hero.
Yeah, definitely. Very strong female hero who is super, like, in control of the whole situation. It's definitely her as the whole thing. There's no, like, oh, the man did everything in the end and helped her. It was like, no, she did it. So, if you're looking for more of that, maybe you saw Wonder Woman and loved that.
Yeah. So the first thing I'll say right off the bat that works is the action sequences.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Which is good to note. The producer of this movie also produced both John Wick 1 and 2.
Yeah, and directed both.
Yeah, well, yes, but he produced this and then directed both of those, or?
He directed this and directed John Wick's.
Oh, okay, same director.
And produced John Wick's.
Right.
Charlize Theron produced this movie,
okay.
Which means she had the money.
Okay, yeah, there you go. I wasn't aware of the specifics about it. He was like, want to see a movie? Let's do this.
Yeah, so the action was amazing. One thing that really bothers me in action films is, one, when there's a lot of jump cuts between punches because it looks really fake, and a lot of shaky cam.
Yeah,
there's a little shaky cam in this, but not a lot.
Yeah, well, it's very akin to John Wick with how the action just feels raw. It has that very solid, just in your face, like, you start cringing a bit when people are hurt because it looks like people are actually hurt.
There was a few times where I laughed and smiled, but it was mostly just because I was a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, people were just getting their shit kicked in.
Yeah.
And...
yeah, that's definitely a thing. Like, there's many moments where I was just like, ooh! Like, oh damn, that just happened. So, we're gonna just try to remain as spoiler-free as possible here, because the movie's not out yet for a few weeks. And also...
for those who are interested, it does release on July 28th for all of you peons who didn't get to see it early.
That's mean. But yeah. Yeah, we saw it early.
Yeah. The writing is really good in this. It is a spy movie.
Yes.
Without getting any spoileries in the video, basically Charlize Theron is sent to Berlin to investigate a missing agent.
Codec list. She's like looking to retrieve a list.
Yep. And that could basically damage everybody.
And it is a timepiece. It is in 1989 during the Berlin Wall incident. Mm-hmm. And it's when, the Berlin is still divided. That's when this movie takes place. And so I guess anyone who was thinking that there would be crossing with John Wick at all, I didn't see any references to John Wick in there. No. It doesn't seem so because John Wick is in the present. Note the iPhone and stuff that he has. And this is in 1989. So I don't think there's going to be any of that like a lot of people were thinking might possibly be something. But yeah, it's like for a timepiece and everything, it didn't like overly arc the it didn't have that like nostalgia feel, but they definitely had all the music, which I loved because basically all of it was diegetic. Which means that it was in the movie.
Okay,
as in like the music was actually a part of the movie, like it'd be playing in a car.
I can say that the few times that the movie had its own music or just background music that wasn't natural to the scene, the score is really good. Mm-hmm. It had kind of that 80s, like, Matrix-y type vibe for me.
It had like that aesthetic vaporwaveness to it.
Yeah. The acting was spot on. There were no weak actors. I do have to say, I believe John Goodman was a little underutilized. John Goodman's a really good actor.
He wasn't as underutilized as Mark Hamill in the last Star Wars movie.
I mean...
he had words.
Yeah, he did have a lot of words. That being said, the performances from Charlize Theron, John Malkovich, and Sophia, I can't remember your last name, I apologize, and it appeared on the screen.
No.
Were all excellent. Especially James McAvoy, though.
Yeah, James McAvoy, he's a busy man, and that has not stopped him from his quality of work right now. Like, he's been solid in each of the movies that he's been in recently. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, very good performance from everyone. I had zero complaints. I don't have complaints, honestly. Like,
about the movie in general?
Yeah, and it's also, it's a good length, too. So, it's not overly long. Like, it felt longer than it actually turned out to be for me, but it wasn't because I was bored. It was because there was just so much to take in, and, like, you're watching it. Like, there's so much happening that you're engaged in it. So you're, like, really analyzing as you're watching it. Mm-hmm. And it just turned out, it's like, oh, okay, just about 2 hours, you're good.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that.
It didn't, like, drag on or anything.
I do believe that the beginning dragged a little bit for me. It was a little slow coming out of the gates. It didn't entirely grab my attention at first. Mm-hmm. I think it was trying a little bit too hard in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, see, that like, the beginning, it kind of sets you up for just to kind of, like, break you, like, okay, we're not opening up with action, which you haven't seen John Wick, but that kind of is how it starts. Okay. It's like the same kind of beat where it's like you kind of get a little bit of analysis of, like, what's been going on, what is being set up, and then jump right into it. We're in the movie.
But that being said, that's kind of a minor complaint because there's a certain point in the film, I would probably say a third of the way in, that for me it just took off and then it didn't stop. Mm-hmm. Like, it kept my attention the entire rest of the way through. And it was something that I'm glad, because the first third of the movie for me, I was worrying it was going to be a dud of a movie.
Oh, yeah.
The acting was fine, but it was something that I felt like should have been better, and then it just achieved everything I wanted it to be. So it's not a perfect film, in my opinion. If you're looking at the film aspects of it, speaking of that, some of the camera shots were a little weird to me. I understand, like, there's one scene in particular, right? Charlize Theron is walking through, like, an archway, and the camera is, like, kind of angle, and then it completely flips around like that. And then as soon as that happens, it cuts to a different weird angle where it's, like, all the way up and then goes back down and then turns around like that. It just felt unnecessary. Like, it was just the director going, it would be really cool right here. I
didn't feel that, because when shots are odd, they usually stand out to me as being odd. And the one, I'm, like, tabbing back to what you mentioned, and it really played with, because in that moment, when the one you're talking about, that's when things really started twisting up. Like, it was matching the tone of what was going on, the narrative.
I will say that the movie is very dark in some ways, but also very vibrant. Mm-hmm.
Dark, like
actual physical lighting wise, it's very gray sometimes. But that being said, there's very bright colors spatted in throughout, like bright blues, bright greens, mm-hmm. and different things that really set the tone for it being a graphic novel type.
Really
movie.
Emphasized her hair being so blonde.
Oh yeah, she was definitely the blondest.
Yeah.
Atomically so.
Yeah, I feel that might have been part of the reason why I just kind of have her stand out so much, because I didn't really notice other blondes in the movie.
There were some background actors, but none of the other...
None of them had as much blonde as her. So.
Other than the one bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
The one bad guy had pretty bright blonde hair, but that doesn't matter. Yeah. So I guess just wrapping up, what would you say are some leading points, and what's your grade for this thing?
I would definitely give it, well, if we're going grades, it's an A+. Fantastic movie. Very good action, not to the point where honestly, if you like John Wick, you'll like this. That's really, like, that's a good comparison, because it's so much action, but it has the narrative and it keeps you engaged. This was a bit more stylized than John Wick, but it wasn't like, oh, they did some weird choreography. The action was brutal and real, and it was all physically graspable. It wasn't like anything weird happened. it's not like it went to this realm of action movie where they start having magazines full of 100 bullets or like true. Doing crazy flip kicks. It was all grounded in people could do that, and that's crazy that they did it. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. For me, aside from the slow beginning and some camera angles, I wasn't a huge fan of. Camera thing's kind of nitpicky. I know that's it's just personal preference.
Varies per person. Yeah.
But 1/3 of the movie was slow for me, so I'm going to give it an A-. I do believe that it's a great action film and something you should definitely see in theaters, but it didn't quite reach that plateau of it being like a perfect movie. It's close, but there are just some things I feel like it could have done slightly better.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. For me, I thought it was fantastic.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie.
No, I know that. You gave it A-, but I don't think people would be disappointed in it. I don't see unless, like I said, you don't like the, I guess, fringe side of things.
Yeah.
So,
there's nudity. There's a lot of boobs.
I wouldn't say a lot, but there is nudity. It's artistic at least.
You do see a lot of Charlize Theron in this movie.
Yes, you do.
All right.
There's nudity. There's no objectifying of women, honestly.
No.
There's no. So it's like nudity and violence. If you don't like that, you won't like it. So that's about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you like this review, go ahead and leave us a comment down below. Subscribe to our channel. Let us know what you thought of the movie.
If you've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, if you've seen it, and when you see it, go ahead and watch it again. Let us know what you think. We'd love to talk to you about it more. There are some things we didn't talk to that are spoilerific.
Yes.
So leave down in the comments. Maybe we'll talk to you. And until next time, this has been Andrew and Connor for UberCrit.com, and we will see you next time.
See you, everybody.
What's up, guys? Connor here with a quick message from one of our sponsors. If you're a fan of anime, cults, the Illuminati, hentai, or maybe you just like cool, fun, and interesting t-shirts, check out Dark Matter Clothing. They have a neat selection of designs, and if you use the promo code UberCrit, then you'll get 5% off your purchase. Check out the link below for more details.